Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Batman issue 126. This is from the Rebirth line, and this is part 2 of Failsafe, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Jorge Jimenez, colors by Tomeu Morey, letters by Clayton Cowles, cover by Jorge Jimenez, Dave Walgo's associate editor, Ben Abernathy editor. So Robin's back on the street with a giant bandage on his neck, because apparently getting shot in the throat is something you could just kind of walk off. And Batman's like, you shouldn't be out, and Robin's like, oh, you're not my real dad. Is basically how it went. And while Batman's sitting around in the Batcave, a giant robot attacks him, and he has to get saved by getting dragged down the street by the Batmobile in the middle of the night, where there's a bunch of cars driving, I guess, for some reason, because nobody's gonna make that connection. And he puts his mask on while he's in the middle of the street, because nobody's gonna recognize Bruce Wayne, multi-millionaire, former billionaire, who used to be all over the news for being a playboy. Nobody's gonna recognize him putting on a Batman mask. Well, Failsafe continues to beat the snot out of Batman for a while. Batman has no idea what he's doing, and he's just getting worked over pretty heavily. The rest of the Bat family shows up almost immediately. Apparently they were just in the neighborhood. And Nightwing makes it all the way from Bloodhaven in like 2 seconds. And Robin gets Batman in the Batmobile, while everybody else kind of stands around for a minute before fighting a giant robot. That's really scary. And then the robot sort of teleports, I guess, to the Batcave where Leslie is waiting to help Batman. We don't really know what happens to her because she's not seen again in the rest of the issue. And Batman and Robin are, I guess, in a different part of the Batcave? I'm not sure, it doesn't say. And Batman decides to do something really hokey, and we're left with a cliffhanger ending. The second story, which is the backup, is Two Birds, One Throne Part 2, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Belen Ortega, Luis Guerrero, colors, Clayton Cowles, letters, Dave Walgo's editor, Ben Abernathy group editor. The Executor, which is a giant robot who apparently handles crime bosses' wills, because that makes sense. Whatever, just go with it. Has Catwoman tracking down heirs to Cobblepot's empire, I guess, and somebody has been killing off his kids. Catwoman runs into this person, but the guy gets away. Apparently the last remaining heirs show up, and that's Addison and Aiden Cobblepot, and they show up to claim everything, but they only get the Iceberg Lounge. The money goes to a bird sanctuary, and they're very unhappy about that. And there's something strange about them. That backup story is kind of stupid. It's really silly. Over the top silly. The whole thing is over the top silly. At least there's some action in the first story that's worth reading, but honestly I was really kind of bored with this. It was like a vapid, not very intelligently written book. I was really bored. I know people are gonna like this for the action elements, and that's fine, but the storyline doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Apparently this robot is just some genius level robot. It's almost like in Super OMAC with Amazo parts. It doesn't say what happened to Leslie and how Nightwing made it across one city and into another in like 2 minutes is a little beyond me, but I was just not impressed with this. Some of the art's okay. Like I've said, Jorge Jimenez is getting better. He needs to stop with the anime action lines though. Those are really, really annoying. But the coloring was really well done. The backup story's art's, it's okay, it's functional. I didn't hate it. If you're gonna pick this book up, don't pay more than $1 or $2 for it. It just wasn't worth it. It has about the storyline depth of a Fast and Furious movie if you're half awake and the writer had a stroke halfway through the writing of the storyline. I don't think Chip Zdarsky had a lot of good ideas here that he could drag out long enough, so there's a lot of padding, especially the backup story. The backup story reads like an afterthought where he's trying to be cutesy, and it's just dumb. The cover is okay, and it does relate to what's in the book, but it can't salvage this mess. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.